Hello again, my name is Bartholomew Conroy, and today we'll continue to discuss the entities currently held within the walls of the Imagplay toy factory. Case number 1 for today is the Father. The Father is one of a group of entities known as the Longlegs family, of whom are a topic of interest in regards to the factory for a number of reasons. For one, the family consists of a mother, baby, and the main focus of today's file, the Father. They aren't biologically related as far as we can tell, and we believe that they have taken an interest in each other's safety as a result of the similar traits they each possess. They each stick to their respective roles and are some of the more interesting entities of the site as a whole. As for the Father, we have given the entity this name as a result of its appearance. The majority of the creature's body is blue, wearing yellow gloves and shoes and a brown fedora. Their body, when deconstructed, consists of varying features. The torso and pelvis are similar in structure to that of a spider, with these sections being composed of an exoskeleton and being covered in fur. These sections appear to make more sense biologically to the stomach and limbs of the organism. The remainder of the body is made of an almost rubbery substance, stretching beyond normal limitations, giving the being an ability to contort and shift unnaturally, making it difficult for operatives to contain the being. Unlike the majority of entities in the facility, the Father doesn't attack in the open, and will instead opt to remain within the more shadowed areas of the facility, in a similar fashion to a spider. When it does attack, the first thing you'll see is its jovial-looking head peering at you with two large pink eyes. It will appear curious, tilting its head and eyeing you up before beginning its approach. It will then follow after you slowly. Making sure you keep your eyes fixed on them, regardless of how far you walk, or what you may throw in its way, it will continue to follow unhindered. It is a cautious being, and has more of a focus on protecting than hunting, similar to how a male lion will usually be the protector of a pride. With this being said, however, due to the events regarding the mother, there has been a shift in the Father's tendencies. He has become more violent, aggressive, and bloodthirsty, having less patience to stalk our operatives and going for the kill much sooner in the hunt. These events will be disclosed when we begin to discuss the entity's weaknesses. In short, there isn't much that can hurt the Father. It's not the most helpful of information, but it does prevent any more of our operatives going against the creature without a proper understanding of its vulnerabilities. If you have a weapon, you can attempt to use it, but don't expect it to do much against the creature's body due to the elasticity of the creature's anatomy and the tough exoskeleton that covers the sections. The creature is impossible to hurt with bullets. We have attempted to attack the creature with flamethrowers, hoping it would have a similar weakness to the Arnabus lion, but we found the creature's genetic makeup actually provided it with more flexibility and made it more unpredictable when surrounded by fire. We have had a theory that liquid nitrogen might tighten the bonds holding the creature together, but we have not yet had an opportunity to implement the appropriate equipment into our operative's arsenal. So far, the only way we know to get away from this creature, as we found out recently, is by luring the entity into an industrial-grade shredder. We have reason to believe the more aggressive behaviour of the Father has been caused due to the death of the mother. One of our operatives, the same one who managed to trap the hugging horror, was being chased by the mother on arriving in the second layer of the facility. They attempted to toy with the operative, using other entities as opponents in a series of twisted children's games. When they couldn't outsmart our man, they showed aggression towards the other entities, killing many of them, and then proceeded to chase him. With nowhere to go, our operative led the mother into a room where he knew where there was a shredder. This was a risky manoeuvre for him to attempt, but he waited in front of the device until he saw the mother running down the halls. At the last moment, he ducked out the way, leading to the entity getting caught in the machine. We suspect this worked as it stretched the material of the entity's body to breaking point, and the screams could be heard throughout the facility. We know that the Father had a close relationship with the mother, and has been less caring about its usual tactics of stalking its prey. Whether this is good or bad for us is yet to be seen. But if the entity has become more erratic, it does have room for debate as to whether we can capture this entity or kill them with the same tactic. We are currently looking for other means of protecting our operatives, but considering the father's caring and protective nature towards the baby, we might be forced to use them as a means of luring the beast out. First things first, this is not a case regarding the realm we have designated the Dreamscape, but admittedly what we find out about the entity may help in regards to Dr. Layla Myers' attempts to access the realm, particularly if we can siphon off enough of the gas the creature produces, but more on that in a few moments. As our operatives continued to venture deeper into the basement of the ImagePlay factory, they found themselves in a large dome-like opening containing multiple buildings and appearing not too dissimilar to a small village. The space had walls painted to look like the countryside and a ceiling painted to look like a child's rendition of a sky. The space between contained many of the standard locations you would expect a village to have, such as a town hall, a schoolhouse, and a playground, but also had some otherwise intriguing additions that would remind anyone they are in a factory underground. The first of these specialised buildings was a 3-storey building with a large sign at its entrance labelled Home Sweet Home. When operatives entered this building, they found themselves walking through numerous bedrooms, which indicated that people were living down there. The second, and more interesting of the buildings in the space, was a gas distribution centre. Inside this building there were huge canisters filled with red mist. This could be seen being pumped into numerous pipelines that appeared to lead to every location in what we are now calling the daycare. The gas distribution centre is the more concerning area of those that we have came across so far, but is even more concerning when we realised how this gas was being created. After finding the gas, our operatives started disappearing, after having manic episodes and claiming they had been seeing creatures moving around in the shadowed areas of the building. We originally sent 10 operatives into the daycare, but realised pretty soon after that we should have sent in more. Only 3 of our people made it out alive. Many of the buildings were housing various entities. Some were wielding maces, others were small enough to sneak up on us, and one in particular had the ability to produce the red mist. The primary threat to the operatives was this gas, as they soon realised that it altered the way they saw the world around them, creating a more monstrous and nightmarish view that caused the men to become manic. We can't actually trust any of the information that they gave us about the entities at each building, but we do know the exact appearance of what we have dubbed the Nightmare Cat. Similar to the Arnibus line discussed in our previous lectures, we suspect the Nightmare Cat is actually an experiment of a certain Dr. S, who has been evading our custody. The creature is a 7-foot tall, 10-foot long cat entity that lurks within the playcare. Its body appears more skeletal, with all joints being visible through ratty, matted purple fur. The creature's spine protrudes in a grotesque and unnerving way, giving the being a malnourished and decrepit appearance, but we have yet to discover whether this was an intentional design, or if the creature has indeed been starved as a result of having no prey before us. As for the head, this is even more grotesque and disturbing. Its eyes are sunken into the skull, appearing to be 2 glowing white rings in a pit of black. The mouth stretches unnaturally past the cheeks, and remains open constantly, appearing like a black hole. However, when looking at the creature in a specific light, our operatives have seen the glint of a metal ring inside the creature's mouth, which is where the gas comes from. When the creature attacks, similarly to the father, it will stalk you, but its means are significantly more torturous and can actually kill people through fear before the being even strikes. When the cat has you in its sights, it will slowly tilt its head and stare. Without moving from this position, it will wait until its prey has backed away. When they do, a steady stream of red mist will begin pouring from the cat's mouth until it fills the room. Any of the slightest sound will be amplified, The tapping of insect feet will echo, shadows will appear as though they are moving, and the room itself will appear distorted and dangerous. The air will feel as though it is becoming thick, and anyone caught in it will begin to feel drowsy, tired, and unable to stand. But this isn't all that the mist does to the senses. In the eyes of the hunted, any being, big or small, that runs through the mist will appear nightmarish and grotesque. Their colours appear more desaturated and ghostly, and they will appear as though they are monsters. Considering this, the cat appearing through the mist is an operative's worst nightmare, and on occasion the fear will kill the individual, as the heart is pushed over its breaking point and can no longer handle the stress it is under. If the individual does survive the fear, they are a mess, shaking and crying on the ground, which is when the creature will kill you. We don't want to hurt the cat too much as we aren't sure of the situation with the creature's malnourished appearance. What we do know is that the gas the creature produces may be of value to us, as a deterrent, an interrogation technique against the Foundation and other enemies to our agency, or as an experimental doorway into the dreamscape. We have seen that the creature isn't as durable as a large number of the entities, and can actually be hurt by many usual means. It relies on the fear it creates, maybe a little too much, which is something we can definitely take advantage of. I hope you have found these case files of some interest. We may be sending some of you into the location in the future, so it is important that you know what you are up against. The next mission to take place at the Play Factory is to capture some of the more dangerous entities, as we know they are attempting to make their way back up to the surface. Please, leave any suggestions for entities you would like to hear about in the suggestion box on your way out. Until then.